Both teams are very patiently waiting to get into this draft. We just saw the match between BOM working their way from the lower bracket, a Cinderella story for them. But is this a David and Goliath story? And will the team of a UH be able to conquer? They've been pretty dominant this entire tournament.
Absolutely. The University of Hawaii have absolutely been dominating the playoffs so far, and now finally making our way into the finals of the collegiate tournament. We do see BOM and the University of Hawaii matching up. Seeing the first ban on the side of BOM being an Edith. How do you feel about that, Private?
Well, it's there's a lot of CC on it, and we've seen this before from BOM. What I do like, and I haven't seen much of UH, but the statistics kind of speak for themselves. Pretty dominant when it came to the round robin. Only one defeat by a team that's no longer in the tournament. Already had a lot of domination against BOM, but what we just saw from them right now is the ability to adapt. So this first game might not go as fluidly for BOM, but what we have seen is their ability to kind of flex around that, read from the first game, and then adapt and overcome throughout the rest of the games. And this is a best of 5, so there is a lot of time for them to be able to flex around into a strategy that will be successful.
Absolutely agree with that. And we do see the University of Hawaii does ban out as their first pick the Franco, which we know from everything that we've seen so far today that Franco is such a capable character in the hands of BOM. I think it was a fantastic first ban, and I think that they were definitely paying attention to today's matches.
Yeah, real interesting. We did see Leo on the Minotaur and the Franco, but the Minotaur lacked that that chef's kiss that you got from Franco in that last game domination over AI. So a great ban by them. And another one, very big focus on to Leo here, maybe reading out that this is the person who makes the shot calls. This is the team leader for them and their roam. If you ban that out, you're gonna kind of put some frustration onto him to where he's going to have a lot more to think about rather than just shot calling or being on characters that he's comfortable with.
I definitely feel you with that, but I don't think the University of Hawaii should start counting out the Fish Gaming picks. He was such a critical member of the team in all of the matchups leading up to this point. I think if they hyperfixate too much on the Leo, they're going to catch that backhand of Fish, and I think they're going to pay for it.
Yeah, we're going to have to see. Yeah, that's a very interesting point to bring up too, because I was going to bring what I was going to say. Fish Gaming, it's not just Leo that you have to worry about, it's Fish Gaming. Maybe a little bit, some of their plan is to focus on one and start, you focus on one during the draft and you focus on the other one during the actual gameplay. We'll see how it comes out. A big, I want to say EXP fighter focus on the side of BOM, taking out Terizla, taking out Edith, and then taking out Matilda. And finally, we're going to see that Boxia taking off more of a meta ban there, and BOM gonna have this first pick.
I definitely think with the first pick, even though the S1 slot is going to Leo, I definitely think it would be in their best interest to up in EXP or up their mage role. Or honestly, they're in a position, and they do decide to go with the EXP, slotting the Yuzong. I just know for me, I hate seeing a S1 slotting the jungle or that roam pick, because they're such absolutely critical parts of the team. I just feel like putting yourself in a position where you could be counted out might hurt you. And we do see that exact same thing that I'm talking about, me not liking, happening on the side of UH.
I mean, right now, this is something kind of I brought up a little earlier, is why we're not seeing too many assassin picks. I think we've talked a little bit in the back about like maybe MS being an issue. UH obviously comfortable with the Nolan, who has been kind of a menace in the meta for a lot of regions right now with that pickup. So you need, and he is one of those picks that is so strong that you need an answer for him, or he's going to be able, after he gets 2 kills, he's basically going to start running amok on your team. So you need those counters. You need those a Kufra possibly, or a Phoveus out there, and you need to be able to play them well. And in answer to that, you're going to see Leo picks up that Kufra.
I do think I'm not too sure about the Nolan pick, because the Nolan pick was really good, but they in the most recent patch they nerfed him, and then they nerfed him even more in the following, like a correction nerf. So with all of his stuff having lower cooldown times, and he's just not as competitive in the moment as he was, a week or 2 ago. I do think the Kufra pickup was an absolutely great pickup. Being able to keep that Fredgerin from being able to initiate and dive into those fights, I do think that that's going to be something that really plays into the favor of BOM.
Well, the one thing that Nolan shines at that really hasn't been addressed by too many of the by the nerfs that he's gotten is his ability to basically spam his abilities until he runs out of mana, which makes those blue buffs or the purple buffs absolutely really important for him. He's basically like a Fanny that doesn't require as much technical prowess to be able to play. So he still has that lethality, especially with a Fredrin on your team who can stay in the front line, can still get that damage, maybe even bring down an Appraiser's Wrath that will chunk the enemy team, which will allow that opening for Nolan to come in, sweep up the pieces with his abilities, and now we see a little bit of control on the field too. Kaja's out there, while we see the Ixia. Apparently there is an Ixia player on BOM that is a menace, because this has been banned out in every single one of the games against BOM.
Yeah, I mean, I think they know something that we don't. I do think that they've got to start addressing on the side of UH. They need to start putting some bans down to prevent Fish Gaming from doing what they want to do. Again, such a critical player in all of the games leading up to this point, and we don't see any bans yet that are going to be affecting who he's wanting to pick.
Yeah, it's interesting here. We kind of are focusing more onto the marksman. Ooh, and then there goes a Lilia. She's one of the higher picks right now across all of the regions when it comes to that mage, but this still leaves open some prime mage picks. Valentina is still out there. Farz is still out there. Eve is still out there. So it's going to be very interesting to see where this first pick goes, or if they're going to go ahead and focus on a mage.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely excited to see what Seth tries to bring out. Both teams having shown off their jungle and roam picks within the first half. Definitely not my personal ideal movements, but they're both equaled out. It's not like one team is going to have the opportunity to pick over the other. So both teams having their marksman and mage slots open. What do you think we're going to see?
For me personally, on the side of BOM, I would be looking for some type of flexible mage that can also double as possibly a support. Angela, possibly, Faramis, something that can help keep this tanky front line alive for BM, so they're not getting burst down by this Nolan. We're gonna see what they go with here. You see the Wanwan getting picked up. I mean, we saw it against. They already played against the Wanwan in the name of AI. AI didn't have as much successful of it with it, but I don't want to say that that was the problem with the Wanwan. I feel like that at the point the Wanwan was coming up, the team just wasn't in a position to really kind of capitalize on it. Still waiting on these second picks. Ooh, looking at a Valier pickup. I'm not gonna lie, Valier is one of those just surprisingly effective heroes. Oh, but we're gonna go with the Odette. Oh, okay. What do you gotta say about these picks, Zeke?
I mean, it makes sense. It seems crazy, but the range stunning effect of the Odette, I definitely think they could utilize if they're piecing themselves together to keep that Wanfron from encroaching too much, from keeping that Kaja from effectively diving in and grabbing people. If they're timing those range stuns well, that actually could be a really good pick. Not because of the utility that the ultimate's bringing, but because of that stun capability. I definitely think I can see where they're coming from with that.
My only problem with the Odette is coming into against a Kaja and a Divine Judgment. It's all great on paper to say they wait for the Kaja's Divine Judgment, but you might be waiting the entire game, because if I am a Kaja, I am just waiting for Odette to use that swan song, and then I'm going to jump in, snatch her up, and there goes a huge amount of your damage taken off the board. But we are here. Both teams already have a bolt of their bands and compositions ready. Who do you like better here, Zeke?
Well, I do think that I like BOM's team right now. They've got a lot of different versatility with the team fighting capabilities of the Kufra, of the Melissa, and the Odette, while still having the fast-paced Martis and Yuzong. Very good characters for getting across the field, very good for stirring up trouble.
That's going to be very interesting here, ladies and gentlemen. We are going into game one of the grand finals. BOM taking on a UH Esports here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is game one. We're going to see if either teams are ready. Oh, maybe not.
And just like that, a pause.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're just in a pause right now. Let's talk a little bit about some of these compositions too. Like I said, I'm a little concerned. I know that the Divine Judgment isn't going to be having too big of an effect on the Melissa. Melissa's going to be able to use that stay away, or that stay away. Her ultimate bubble to be able to kind of withstand maybe a little bit of this assassin. I'm pretty sure Nolan can still effectively hit her through her bubble because of the range he has on some of his abilities. It's going to be very interesting to see how some of these are played into each other.
Absolutely, and I agree, because the Melissa is a fantastic character for keeping those divey type characters off of yourself. But whenever you look at the ultimate of Fredrin, when you look at that large AoE effect, you look at the Nolan's AoE effect, you look at the Bane's ranged AoE effect, a lot of that utility that the Melissa's ultimate provides her seem to be obsolete within this team composition. Again, that's why I do think the combination of the Odette, especially in lieu of the Kufra on the team, will really open up their team's capability to make something happen. Yeah,
so it's gonna be very interesting, because I mean, that's why I'm not a big fan of the Odette. You have a lot of these abilities that are just meant to basically outrange people, to push them away, to keep them at a distance, to keep them at bay, and you have one hero whose ultimate keeps them stationary. So they're basically a sitting duck, unless you are just absolutely mind-blowingly great when it comes to your positioning.
Absolutely heard that. So far, we're seeing a little bit of interaction towards the middle of the map. Both teams are checking each other, but without giving up too much ground on either side of the house.
Yeah, and yeah, we're gonna go ahead, start things off here. We had a little problem with Wi-Fi, ladies and gentlemen, but we are back on. We want to make sure that this is a fair game for both teams, which is the reason for that pause, but we're both here at 100%. We do see a nice little grab, goes on to D-Guy in trouble, eking his way back. No real hurry there. Doesn't even expend his flicker.
I do see the Kaja going back, recalling, which it doesn't seem like a huge play, but that extra player not directly on the map, not directly affecting things, does give a little bit of an advantage just with the widespread play style of BOM.
Well, it's gonna be very interesting as the turtle comes up, because that does mean he's not getting XP, he's not getting fed, and he most probably will not have that Divine Judgment by the first turtle fight. Oh, we have a big Tyrant's Wrath comes in, but does not go ahead and land onto the target of Seth. Good zoning and good positioning by Seth without knowing where the enemy is, keeping a great distance from Zero here.
We are seeing a lot of pressure by the Melissa within that time frame. But both teams having jungles that are over level 4, I definitely think right now we're looking at a standstill. It's not a whole lot happening on either side of the house, but both teams are still checking each other, both starting to look at trying to capture the first turtle of the game.
Yeah, you can see right now Ari going to go ahead and focus on that. Ari comes out with the turtle. Not much of a contention from BOM. This was a critique I had in their first game against AI. When these objectives come up, your team needs to be ready, needs to be on top of that, especially with a hero like Martis, who really shines in the early game and begins to fall off around that 8 to 9 minute mark.
I absolutely agree. We do see a little bit of a face check with each other. It looks like they're shaking hands, you know, getting to know each other, becoming friends, the Kaja and the Kufra. While we're waiting for Leo to get this level 4, he's still waiting on these big team engagements because he just doesn't have the ability to do what he wants yet.
Yeah, you can see up at the top, Ciante Dope having a little bit better of a time in his lane than I've seen. I feel like he's just gotten more and more comfortable as the night has gone on with the XP lane. But about 66 seconds away from the next turtle, still waiting to see both teams very respectful of each other's power, very safe in their rotations and their positioning.
Absolutely well said. I do think, like I said earlier, that both teams are right now just, they're face checking, they're getting to know each other, they're looking at what they do. Kufra does dive in, does get a beautiful set with the Tyrant's Rage. Melissa making it happen. Odette securing the first kill of the game. 9,403 gold to the 10,000 with UHE leading by 700 gold. But not before Clayty shoots in and takes the second kill.
Yeah, Clayteezy doing a great job there, but down here at the bottom, this is the problem when you have a Kufra against a Wanwan. Wanwan's gonna have trouble because even if he connects with that Tyrant's Revenge and you miss with the Tyrant's Rage, that bouncy ball is still gonna make it so hard for Seth to be able to get away because the only movement you have is really that jump, and you're basically stuck in the same position. So it's gonna be very interesting. Oh, you can see here, Zero, that go away. Seth taking down 2 kills onto Seth. Things not looking great for UH right now.
Absolutely agree with you. Zero putting in some work, starting to gap out the enemy team's Wanwan is absolutely going to give a lot of short-term as well as long-term advantages in the favor of Team BOM.
Yeah, I'm actually very interested in this because I mean, we have a Bane in the mid, we have no mage. You're basically telling BOM the only thing you need to build is some physical defense for us. Oh, D-Guy's gonna try and contest it. Clayteezy easily able to pick up their first turtle, second turtle of the game. You see Leo going in, the rest of the team not ready. Black Dragon onto the wrong side, decides against it, just taking a little bit of a tour, just a little bit of a little scenic view, comes right back around. They decide not to go in.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think Kufra had the right idea diving in there, but just a few seconds premature. The team wasn't quite ready, and the punish that they were capable of doing, they just weren't able to make happen. Fish Gaming barely surviving Bane's ultimate, looking to recall.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan. Bane and Cyclops are probably one of my #1 heroes to play with when it comes to ranked and stuff. Absolutely love using him. And here, right now, he's going to be able to do such a great job of pushing away Fish Gaming with that Crab Claw Cannon. He'll be able to reflect it off the minions, and the 200% physical damage landing on the Fish Gaming is going to be it's going to be a moneymaker every single time.
Absolutely. And Bane and Cyclops, you said it, both two absolutely explosive characters. But quite frankly, if Cyclops doesn't have the Yoda skin, I don't want him.
Big Tyrant's Revenge lands up atop a canyon, really not worried about it. Leo more or less trying to clear out the wave until Chiante comes in. Fish Gaming does land into a deadly catch from McKee, and you see Ari in a great position here. Fish Gaming too close, gets caught up. He's gonna have to expend that flicker, and Ari not able to capitalize with that ult, and he goes home hungry.
Oh, Kenyon's looking like he's going to have to get out of there. That Yuzong on top lane is putting so much pressure and hitting him so hard. It's so hard for that Fredrin right now to stay in that fight.
Oh, we might have a little bit of the gank at the bottom. 4 members, which means you're going to have a flank here. Big conceal play comes up. The go away has been activated. Zero might be in trouble. Here comes the crossbow of Tang, making mincemeat. And on the other side, a big kill onto Clayteezy, who was not able to get the decimation. Great play by UH, narrowly threading that needle because they were 1 ult away from Clayteezy being able to walk all over their team.
Absolutely, and you said it. Kaja getting away with so little health that you wouldn't think that he had any.
Yeah, it's gonna be very. Oh, Ciante dope. This is a different Ciante dope in that XP lane that we saw before. He is a monster up there and handling, especially for somebody like a Fredrin, who's he's not great when it comes to the XP lane, but the amount of CC that he has in that lane and utility is usually enough to at least kind of be able to withstand a lot of this push. But man, doing a great job is Ciante.
I do think that it's very much worth taking into account how well the UH is managing their gold development through the game. Being down 2,000, being down 2 kills, but still being up almost 2,000 gold is such a good showcase for how good they are at actually managing their map.
Yeah, so it's going to be very interesting to see how well this composition is going to kind of fare as we move into the mid game. I mean, UH, you can see here from the gold, is still doing a great job of maintaining a little bit of a lead despite not having the kills that BOM has. Ari, off screen, finds a kill onto Clayteezy. And this is what we were talking about. You see 0 deaths and 3 kills onto Ari. And this is about the point where those Nolans start to run amok on your teams.
Yeah, we don't want to see him. Nerf him again. That's what I'm hoping for.
Well, we're about to find out.
We do see a whole lot of pressure coming from UH towards the X, but not for Leo.
Oh, dives in there. Black Dragon is out of Praiser's Wrath comes down. Leo in trouble. Look at the damage he's taking right now. Ciante finds a kill. Seth finds, 2 kills for UH right now, almost tying up the game. It is now within a 1 kill for them, and they are extending their lead to a 2K gold lead.
Well said, well said. 1-1 on the bottom lane, taking the first turret on the gold lane. A little bit of map pressure from the side of UH. Again, maintaining that healthy gold lead and starting to expand it. Now, nearing that 3,000 gold lead, how do you feel about the map management on the side of BOM?
Well, right now, BOM has, it's pretty much tied. Oh, actually, the map management right now, UH has the map because they have that mid tower. It's always so important to get that mid tower down as fast as possible because it opens up the enemy map for you. They don't have a secure place to run. Already in a good position here. Oh, Fish Gaming is very close to the edge here, waiting for a fracture to come out onto Leo. Oh, and that is a wasted bit of damage there put onto Leo. This is a great opportunity for the side of Bring Out the Madness to kind of come in, try to put something out there. Clayteezy going to go ahead, start up this lore. Takes a swing, a little test of patience there from Ari. When it comes to some of these Lord fights, I want to say Assassins probably have the rougher time when it comes to like dancing around. A Black Dragon out early. This means you're not going to have this for your Lord fight. Out comes the Tyrant's Revenge. D-Guy able to back off. This a lot of abilities that these guys are spending without actually being able to have anything to show for it. Either kills. We're all still dancing around this Lord. Tyrant's Revenge is out. The team is not in a position yet to capitalize on it.
It seems like BOM is very much just trying to make something happen at this point, but is working very prematurely to itself. The Black Dragon, when it popped in the middle of the map, it seemed like that would have been a really good play if it were a little bit closer to the Lord, but because he had popped it right there, everybody migrated away from the Lord, and they just wasted the entire ultimate.
Ooh, a big engagement down here. And Ari going to go ahead, pick up the kill onto Zero. And a great engagement there from UH. They knew that that go away was up. They didn't care. They went ahead, pushed, tried the Divine Judgment, but it was all kind of a ruse so that they can go ahead and press their advantage onto these towers. And this is where UH is succeeding and BOM is having a little bit of trouble. They had this, look at, if you see right here, they have more kills, but they were not able to transition these kills kills into objectives the way UH has with less kills.
Absolutely, and I do think part of that that map control and that gold lead that we're seeing is because the team UH was able to take that mid turret, which initially doesn't seem like a huge thing, but whenever you start opening up the team's ability to start invading and harassing the other team's jungle, you open up so much more offensive capabilities.
Oh, you see up at the top, Nolan has locked on the Clay TZ, had that fracture out, almost halves his health. I'm wondering if this is going to be enough to stop them from trying to contest it. It is going to be a 4v4. Leo gets caught up by D-Guy. And this is not going to be enough. The team is not in the position. Ari cleanly able to pick up this Lord for UH Varsity. It's not the most exciting game when it comes to kills and back and forth, but I can tell you right now, UH doing a very methodical and slow-paced job of kind of just strangling out BOM and kind of tightening that chokehold they have around them tighter and tighter as the game goes on.
And I definitely think that it goes without saying that this is the UH that we've been seeing the entire playoffs. This is why they've done so well and haven't lost a single match this entire playoff season so far leading up to this. They have effectively been locking down the map against every team that they have faced off against.
Yeah, and as this is that crab claw cannon we were talking about, catches Fish Gaming and takes her into La La Land. You see a little bit of a fight down here. Keontae Dope might be in a little bit of trouble. Big pop-up lands on the UH0, able to find a kill onto Ari. D-Guy in trouble. Here comes the Black Dragon on the side. McKee trying to run for the hills. We do miss a pop-up. Keontae Dope is gonna have to turn his attention to this dragon. Cannot continue the chase, but a great turnaround for Bring Out Madness.
BOM does have a good defense, and they do find a nice wave to pull themselves back into the fight, but not without losing a whole lot of ground. They have one turret left in each lane, just that primary turret protecting the Nexus, preventing the enemy team from establishing the enhanced minion advantage. That slow push, whenever they get it, is going to be so critical in slow pushing, which is the UH style.
Well, right now, you see Leo actually might be in a little bit of trouble, gets caught, and you're going to give Wan the ult. Cross rotate comes out, Zero in trouble, tries to use that go away. Seth still able to pick up the kill. Fish Gaming with the ultimate takes down Seth, but you can see a whole mess of fighting going on right here. BOM Keontae Dope running for the hills in dragon form. UH loses one, picks up 3 kills, and they are back at the base, knocking at the door.
And I'll tell you, man, knocking on heaven's door is exactly what they're doing. We haven't seen Keontae running for his life a whole lot, but they are making it happen. UH finalizing and taking that mid turret, giving them now that exact enhanced minions advantage that I was talking about. That slow push capability, especially from the middle side of the map, is going to open up so many invasive jungle opportunities for them that it's going to be hard for the likes of BOM to pull themselves back together and take positive footing against UH.
Well, right now it is a tie game, 11-11, but the gold is telling another story. Almost 3K gold lead by a UH. And this is coming from the last series, which was a very even. UH kind of setting the tone here that even when they make some mistakes when it comes to a push, lose 3 players, they're still in a commanding lead that they don't have to worry about so many mistakes, to where there are so many boxes that Bring Out Madness needs to check to be successful. Leo with a concealed play finds McKee, does not decide to go in with it. We definitely need to see Bring Out Madness to be, I want to say, work as a team. If they're going to find, if Leo can create the set, the rest of the team needs to be in a position to capitalize on it.
Absolutely agree. I want to see Bring Out Madness more aggressive towards these objectives. I want to see them locking down as a team what they need to put themselves back to the advantage. They really have left so many objectives unchallenged. It's just been abused and utilized so much in the favor of the university. Why?
You can see on the backside, and Ari looking for something. Does he know who's in this bush? Fish Gaming decides he's not going to stay around to find out. Definitely when there's an Ari around, you can see Zero activates that ult, that go away. Black Dragon is out, used a little early. This means they're not going to have it for this Lord fight. This might be a great opportunity for UH to go ahead and start on it. They're still being very patient. Look at Seth. This is a great positioning that you usually see from XP laners, but this is the marksman, and they're looking for an opportunity. I'm not sure how well it's going to work for the marksman, because if you flank on that side with the marksman, you kind of put yourself in harm's way for somebody to kind of dive onto you.
Absolutely, but the advantage that it does give is splitting up the enemy team enough for your team to secure the Lord less challenged.
Oh, down goes a Leo. Black Dragon is out, followed by, Canyon finds a Appraiser's Wrath that takes down the enemy marksman. Fish finds damage on to Seth, I believe, and takes him down. This is 1-for-2 trade right now. In trouble is Keontae Dope. Activates that Black Dragon again. In comes Clay TC, but not able to find the decimations. They need to back up. They got them off the Lord, and they need to be able to kind of regroup and replan and strategize this out. Fish Gaming going to go ahead and move to the mid while UH starts on the Lord.
Absolutely. While they do still have the numbers advantage in favor of UH, I definitely think they should start locking it down. Although the Platesy, that jungle piece is still there and still capable of challenging, they can still try to be present enough with the Lord to bait them out and secure a couple more kills. A lot of the effective gameplay that we're seeing on the side of BOM is in their large team fights. Sadly, we haven't seen enough of those large team fights on top of the objectives, but the more that UH can lock down their ability to work together, the easier it's going to be for them to secure and finish out.
Well, I do want to say I feel like the later game is in favor of UH. They just got to be a little bit more patient. I mean, this is loads different from the first series that we watched, where it was just a lot of back and forth, people running in. But UH just a little bit more methodical about when they choose, very picky about when they want to make some of these engagements, when they want to start on the Lord. They're going to allow them here. They have good positioning, but they're waiting for a good opportunity. You see, the top has been cleared. Now are we going to come in, and now they're in a good and primed position to kind of come in. Clay TZ backs off. Ooh, Lord, he gets popped up. Almost an opportunity. D-Guy comes in with the Divine Judgment. That's going to be more than enough to take out Clay TZ. Lord goes down. Ari able to pick it up. Great patience by UH as Seth finds a kill onto Fish Gaming, and now trying to chase down Leo. The rest of UH Esports trying to chase down Dope here, and that's going to be a wrap as the tower gets taken out. Great and methodical game by UH Varsity.
Man, oh man, what a matchup. What a matchup. BOM tried so hard to get their grips back on after those initial pushes in map lockdown rotation were coming from the side of UH. They just couldn't make it happen. And in the moment that they needed that Black Dragon, in that final fight, he was too busy playing footsie games with Fredrin on the other side of the map, and the whole team kind of got punished for it.
Well, it comes down to timing when it comes, especially with that last Lord fight. You have to assume, because on paper, when it comes to this type of strategy, when you have a Divine Judgment on the enemy team, you have to expect that Divine Judgment's going to come out right before before you get that last hit, that last retribution on the Lord. So you have to be ready. This is the time when Leo on the Kufra needs to be ready. He needs to be the one initiating. When he sees it get low enough, that's when you initiate with the Tyrant's Revenge. Go in there to try to offset that push that's obviously going to happen from D-Guy. Unfortunately, timing was off. They were able to get the Divine Judgment. This shut down Clay TZ very quickly, offered up the Lord, and then it was a wrap right after that. But it shows the immense amount of patience and macro that is coming from UH Esports.
And patience is definitely a key word in there. Again, where we saw Seth